6th and 7th grade. So this week you are both doing the same thing, so I'm only making one video. So we are going to be studying the voice, as in your voice, and how you use it. So we're going to be making our way through a Google Slides presentation, and then each day, there's a certain amount of slides that we're going to go through, and we get to a slide that says stop, and that's where we stop for that day. So as we go through those slides, there is kind of a culminating flip grid at the end of it. Okay, so each day there's like an exercise that you're going to do. So whatever it is that day, whether it be emphasis or we're talking about tempo or whatever. And so each day there is a flip grid for you to complete, okay, before you leave that day. Okay, so again, we're going to be doing these in class. So we're going to be watching some videos where, you'll do the exercises along with me and the person in the video, okay? And then to show that, yes, I was paying attention, you're going to do your flip grid, okay? So I'm going to go through kind of briefly the Google Slides presentation so that you all have kind of a general idea, and also that your parents kind of know what you're doing and that you're not a weirdo walking around your house going, oh, whoa, ew, or whatever the exercise is. Here we go. All right, here we go. So this is what the Google slide looks like, okay? And as you'll see as we go through this, there's a bunch of terms that we're gonna learn throughout the week. Okay, so we have day one, study of the voice. So there's a short 4-minute video we're gonna watch together, okay? And then we're gonna kind of have a class discussion. You can unmute or tell me in the chat, whatever, what you think makes a good voice, okay? So you're gonna type your answer there and tell me in class, okay? And so then we're gonna do a brief warm-up together. There is a vocal teacher that does these series of videos. So sometimes in the videos, he's like, and last class, and you're like, wait a minute, I wasn't in last class. So just pay no attention to that. So we're going to talk about then some things on these slides, articulation, projection, okay, and how we're going to talk about how speech is created. So how that looks in your throat. So and in your mouth. So it's really important that we as performers and people in general, because you can really mess up your voice if you don't talk or sing or speak loudly correctly, right? So we talk about kind of where those things are, how the diaphragm and your lungs go into it, and there's a short video that we're gonna watch there as well about the vocal anatomy, okay, voice anatomy. And then again, we have another question to answer here. Why is it important for actors to speak clearly? And then we're gonna talk about what resonators are, okay, and where those are, and the articulators as well, okay? And then we're going to talk about posture, and again, articulators and such. So what you're going to do now, so that is all the things that we're going to go over on day one, so on Monday. And your flip grid for today, okay, is to do these tongue twisters. So you have the flip grid links. Make sure that you click the link for your own class, okay? So it'll be very confusing for me if I'm in first period and then I were to click the second period and then I'm like, but you didn't do it. And you're like, but I did. But I didn't check it. So between 6th and 7th grade, there's like 120 of you. So it would really be helpful if you click the right link. Okay. So you're going to be doing these following tongue twisters. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. And as you see in the directions, it says, record the following tongue twister, speaking slowly and carefully 2 times. Okay, so I would say the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. And then I would pause my flip grid, okay, and then I go to the next one. So again, we have 4 more. Okay, so the big black bug, he thrust his fists, and a box of biscuits, followed by Trix trench tweed, etc. All right, and then you have 2 questions as your exit prompt, okay? Now, I know that this seems like a lot, okay, but we're trying to not only learn about something, but we're trying to apply it, right? And so it's really important that we are actively participating along with these activities and not just sitting and watching. Okay? So that is day 1. All right. Hi, guys. So you survived day 1. Here we are at day 2 of the study of the voice. So day 2, okay, we are talking about resonance. Okay, so there is a short video of this guy that is currently behind the video of my head right now. But it's a short 2-minute video where he kind of has you go through and do it with him. All right. So we're going to do that in class. But if for some reason you're not in class, you know, this is what you should be doing. Okay. So click out of that. All right. So then we talk about projection. Okay, which I know that when you see the word project, it's one of those words that it's written the same, but there are 2 different sounds, right? So there's like, I've got a project to do with my 3 friends, right? Or I'm going to project my voice so I can speak loud and clear, right? They're spelled the same, but there's 2 different meanings. Yeah. Anyway, so we talk about projection a little bit, how you do it. Okay. And then there are 2 different videos that we're going to watch that talk about projection and tips and things like that. Okay. So this, again, the videos are a little bit longer for this one. Okay. And then there's some exercises that you're going to do here. Again, make sure you click on the correct Flipgrid link, okay, for your grade level. So try this projection exercise. You're going to place your hands on your abdomen. Okay, you're going to take a deep breath. And your abdomen, remember, is like about where your belly button is. Okay, and when you breathe, it pushes out. Okay, and you keep your hands there so you can feel it deflate as you speak. And then you take another breath. Now, are you going to go around and breathe like no, because that would be super creepy, right? But for our sake, right, you need to think about it as like if you were drinking a milkshake, okay? And if you're drinking a milkshake out of a straw, that fills, when you breathe like that, it fills kind of down in your tummy. Again, it's your diaphragm, but yeah, so you don't breathe in with your lungs because that's not a supported breath. Anyway, okay, so you're going to say the sentence, I am going home. Okay, but you're going to use your breath control, okay, so that you are speaking loud and clear and full, okay, and you're going to say that phrase as though you are saying it to the following people, okay, so a friend sitting next to you, a person 10 feet away, someone across the room, and then someone in the back row of an auditorium. So you want to think, how would that be different? Okay, so again, you're going to do that on the Flipgrid, and then you're going to press pause, and so then we're going to talk about stage whispers, okay? So a loud whisper. So your voice is heard by the people watching the play, but maintains the quality of a whisper. Now, normally, if I'm going to whisper, I'm going to be really quiet like this so that the person near me can't hear me, right? But I have to have the audience hear me too. So I got to make sure that I whisper loud enough so the audience can hear me, but it has kind of the almost like a filter, if you will, of a sound. So I might whisper like this, and it makes it seem like I'm being really sneaky, and I'm whispering, but really, I'm not. Okay, so you're going to deliver the following lines using a stage whisper. I know I should never have trusted him, and I have come to an important decision. Then we go to the next slide. Again, remember, we're learning about stuff and then we're applying it. We're learning about stuff and then we're applying it. Okay. Emphasis. So vary volume or emphasis on individual words will affect the meaning of a sentence. For example, was Dave going home? Was Dave going home? See how that changed the meaning, right? So when I emphasize Dave, okay, it sounded like, well, was it somebody else? Okay. Or was Dave going home or to someplace else? Okay. So you're going to watch this short video that talks about emphasis. Okay. And then you are going to do this emphasis exercise. Okay. And then that is all for day 2. Make sure you're going to record that on Flipgrid, and you don't have any questions to answer on this day. Okay, so just make sure that you filmed your Flipgrid. Yay! I'm just going to do this for the rest of the video so I don't have to find the pause button. Boop, 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 boop. All right, hi 7th grade. So we are going to be watching your silent film videos on Wednesday, so during our asynchronous time, okay? And that's just because the amount of things that we were doing this week with the vocal work, I didn't want to take an entire class day to watch these. So, and they go a little bit over that. So anyway, what you're going to be doing, okay, for this, and this is to prove to me that you watched them, basically, okay, but also to, work on our constructive criticism skills, okay? So for each of these, you're going to watch the silent films, okay, and you're going to choose 5 of them to write about, okay? Now, will I know that you have watched more than 5? No, but I hope that you will, because they're really good. So for each of them, you're going to type the name of the person who did the video, okay? And I have typed it in. So as you watch the video, you should be able to see it. So if you don't catch it, just like take it back a little bit, all right? So for each of these, you're going to answer the 3 questions. So what was the basic plot of this film? Okay, so this film was about pizza, whatever. What is something they did really well? So what's something that you found entertaining, or did they pantomime really well? Was the special effects or whatever? And then you want to also say, what is something they could work on for next time? And there's always something that everyone can work on, okay? Whether it is making it a little bit clearer, maybe the actions of things, or maybe theirs needs to be longer, or maybe theirs needs to be shorter, right? There's lots of different things, be nitpicky, find something. So don't just say nothing. Okay, that's not an acceptable answer, okay? So you need to evaluate 5 of these, okay? And all the videos from 1st and 2nd period are in there, okay? So those people that chose to have theirs shared, okay? Yeah, so this will be your asynchronous assignment. So get her doing. All right, so we made it to day 3. Okay, so day 3, this is Thursday, okay, of the week. So we are going to be doing these exercises kind of along with the slide today, okay? So you're going to want to go ahead at the beginning of today to click on that Flipgrid. Again, choose the correct period that you're in, okay? And just make sure to have that kind of open. All right, so we're talking about pitch. So like highness and lowness, okay, of a voice. All right, so you're going to do this little exercise here, this video that kind of goes through that in just about 3 minutes or so. So then we're going to talk about inflection, okay, which is the varying of pitch, okay? So I don't know if you remember, well, your parents would remember the, hopefully you've seen this movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and there's the homeroom teacher who's like, Bueller, and everybody's like so bored in the class. Anyway, he's also the Clear Eyes guy on the commercials. Anyway, he has no inflection on his voice at all. Okay, right? It's just very boring. Okay, whereas normally our voices are up and down, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and depending, so a rising inflection with a higher pitch at the end generally is used when you're asking a question. Right? And then, again, it can also be used to express shock and surprise. And then a falling inflection, a lower pitch, usually is for a period, okay? So firmness. So you're going to experiment with that a little bit on Flipgrid. So saying the following lines using the inflection indicated. Did you hear what I said? Then go. And then put that down and stand against the wall. Now, I didn't do rising or falling, okay, because that's your job, right? You're applying what you just learned. Okay, and then you're going to say each of these words twice. Once raising your pitch upward, and then a second time lowering your pitch downward. So you're going to say A through L, okay? Once all the way through, going up, and then again all the way through, going down, okay? And then you're going to answer this question. So then we're going to talk about tempo, okay? So we're going to watch these two videos, just the beginnings of them in class, but if you're watching this and doing this on your own, you just need to get an idea of what the videos are about. Basically, we're talking about how fast and slow people talk, right? And generally, the younger you are, the faster you speak, and the older you are, the slower you speak. Not always, but as a generalization. So then you're going to do this tempo exercise. So you're going to, for each of the sentences, try using both fast and a slow rate. So you're going to say, they climbed slowly, wearily up the summit. Or, they climbed slowly, wearily up the summit. And you want to think, which one would be better, right? And it would depend on who it was, right? If you're telling a dramatic story, they climbed slowly and wearily up the summit. Versus if somebody was so excited that they climbed slowly and wearily up the summit, but then, so it'll just kind of depend. So you're going to do each of those sentences. Then you're going to talk about tone, okay? So, and that's, everybody has a different kind of sound of their voice, right? And so that changes depending on what character you're playing. So you're going to start by saying the word hello, okay, and saying it in these different tones. So sweet, thoughtful, impatient, sarcastic, okay? And then did you notice how changing the tone? So then you're going to answer that, okay? And you're going to do the same thing that you did in number 1 with the following words, okay? So again, you're going to do yes with the tone sweet, thoughtful, impatient, sarcastic, okay? And the same thing with well and possibly. All right, and again, those are your links, okay? And you got to make sure that you answered the questions on 47, 49, 51, and then you also filmed your flip grid, okay? So that was all for Thursday, day 3 of voice. Put up. And off, off. I don't think I stopped it, did I? I don't think I did. Yeah, no. All right, so for the final kind of culminating thing, on Friday, you guys are going to kind of put it all together. So this is kind of like our final exam of voice, if you will, okay? Now, you can also, this shouldn't take most of you that long. So if for some reason you missed a day, this is also kind of a catch-up day, okay? So you're going to click on those flip grids, okay? And then you're going to record yourself doing these following tasks, okay? This link should not be there because that is an 8th grade link. Sorry about that. Okay, so you're going to record the phrase, they are in the house, run, in a stage whisper, and then loudly. Okay, so to show us the difference that you know what those things are. And then you're going to record the phrase, how could you do this to me? 3 times, but you're going to emphasize different words each time. All right, and then, okay, you're going to record the phrase, I have to leave right now. Okay, you're going to do it once with rising inflection, and then another time with falling inflection. Okay. Number 4, you're going to record the phrase, this is the best day of my life, at a slow tempo and then at a fast tempo. And then you're going to record the word really in 3 different tones. Okay, so I give you some ideas of some different tones you can apply to that, like angry, delighted, condescending, thoughtful. All right, and then the last thing you're going to do, number 6, is to choose 2 of the following characters. So a happy child, annoyed adult, a political candidate, etc. And you're going to speak those 2 lines, okay, for each of the characters. Okay, so for instance, if I was a plotting criminal and I was saying, now is the time I must choose, I might say, Now is the time I must choose. Versus, if I was an annoyed adult, I might say, now is the time I must choose. Okay, so they're very, very different, right? All right, so make sure that you have done that final Flipgrid. And then you're done for the week, okay? Yeehaw! Dun, 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 dun.